Yeah, guys, welcome to the Buzz, obviously, my debate show. Um, Obviously, mainly, well, it's all football debates, of course. And it's going to be obviously more about the transfer window that's just gone, that obviously closed last Friday. Seems a while ago now, but obviously want to talk about it all and get into it all, who had the best sort of transfer window. And also, we're going to rate them and everything. And also, I've got guests coming on. One guest already in the background there, in the back. So I'll bring him on soon. And should be having another guest, possibly Manny, and possibly as well Arnie as well, if they're able to come on. But obviously, we'll see a bit further along, and obviously we'll be getting into all this very soon. A lot to talk about, obviously a lot to discuss, obviously also about VAR and the referees yet again. From the weekend, of course, we had some interesting incidents. So we'll get through those. Manny is about to come on as well, but I'll bring my other guest on. He's waiting there patiently. And that's Carl, of course, Man United fan. Of course, that does a lot of sports, covers a lot on his channels, especially football overseas. He does so much different things on there, and I'm part of that as well, that channel. So obviously I've got things coming up on there as well as on my own channel. So obviously Nations League, excuse me, and Nations League and everything. So I'm doing all that on there. So, that'd be cool. So watch out for that. But I'll bring him on, Carl, anyway. And we'll get into it all. Be out, Carl.
Yeah, big up to
What you doing,
big up,
mate?
Mr. Steve. How you doing?
Yeah, cool. How about yourself? All right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Oh, nice one. I don't know why I've got it like this. I didn't put it like this. It's strange, man. I didn't put it like this, man. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
Is that the one? Oh, yeah, that should be it.
this one.
Well, that's better anyway. But I ain't got the background now for some reason. Because I had that. I don't know what's going on with this. I certainly didn't change any of this. Hold on a minute, mate. Let's try and I'll try and get that background. So I definitely had the background. Here we go. That's better. Got the background now. Anyway, weird. Never mind. I don't know what happened with that, but never mind. Cool. So are you still there, Carl? Hold on a minute. I'll just obviously get into this. What should we do first? Yeah, we'll do the transfer window first. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, mate, no worries. And obviously we're going to cover the obviously the transfer window. It was only a few days ago it closed, as we know, the Friday. But obviously a lot of interesting moves and ins and outs for the teams. And I'm going to bring up this page now, and we're going to sort of rank it all, what we thought was the best, who done the best deals, and whatever. So I'll bring this up now, and we can go through them all. Hold on a minute. It's coming. There we go. And so, also, I'll just read this comment out first before we get into it. I was on Rich there, United TV. Be up to you, bro. Thanks for coming in, man. I think he was in here earlier. I think he might have gone now. But anyway, happy with shifting Tony on. I think it was probably the right decision. Yeah, I agree. I think it was the right decision. And I'm glad he's gone now. We got the money for him. That's all that matters. And we can use that money whenever we need it. We got it, obviously, for the next transfer window. And we can get players in. We already have got other players in. So it's not been too bad for us, this transfer window. But anyway, move on from that. And what
About
do you
the Tony,
sorry, mate?
saying about the Tony news, I feel like Brentford
Mm,
has benefited more than the Saudi club has.
mm,
I
yeah,
feel like the Saudi club should have chosen Osimhen over Tony.
yeah. Well, to be honest, I'm not bothered, mate. I'm just glad we got the money for him, man. So that's all I wanted. You know, we wanted the money, wanted him gone, and as far as I'm concerned, he's gone, and good riddance, to be honest. So we move on, and it's we move on without him, and hopefully we'll do well. I think we can still do well this season. We brought a few players in, so you know you never know. But obviously we're going to these, and we're going to do like a ranking out of 5 on these deals, and that's obviously it's Arsenal first. They brought in, of course, Lucas Nygaard from Nordisland for a free. On the free, David Raya, of course, as we all know. On the Bs, 27 million. Tommy Setford, Ajax, 850,000. Ricardo Calafiori, Bologna, 42 million. Mikel Merino, Real Sociedad, 31.6 million. Raheem Sterling from Chelsea on loan. And look at the outgoings. Aaron Ramsdale, Southampton, 25 million. Eddie Nketiah at last. Old Eddie's gone. Eddie Murphy, Crystal Palace, gone there for 30 million. Cole Hine to Real Valladolid on loan. ESR, so Smith Rowe for them, 34 million. Not many of the others we know that well. All gone. And of course, our Nenny, of course, Al Jazeera on a free. Anyone else? Cedric Suarez release. Sambi Lukonga's gone to Sevilla on loan. Nuno Tavares has gone to Lazio on loan. Fabio Vieira to Porto on loan. Reece Nelson to Fulham on loan. What do you make of all this then, Kyle? What would you give this out of 5? Have you think they've done well here or not?
I feel like in terms of the transfer negotiations, I feel like Arsenal was slow, especially in the negotiation with Mourinho and Califori. These are negotiations that could have been straightforward and quicker, and also at some points there was talks of Arsenal breaking down. There was a point where Arsenal could not could not have gotten both of those players.
Mm.
I feel like with Sterling, it's a good deal because considering that you're only paying him 100k per week, and Chelsea are paying him 200k per week, so that's a
Yeah.
good deal. It will be He'll be starting for Arsenal also. He'll be also giving a break for Martinelli as well. He'll be a big upgrade for Martinelli, and also when Ateta wants to rest Saka, I feel like Sterling could play on the right wing, maybe.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal's outgoings, it has been good negotiations. So I feel like outgoings, I'll give that an 8 out of 10. While for
Oh, I
incoming,
was doing up to 5, but yeah, I suppose we can do 10
oh,
if you want to do it out of 10.
out
I was
of 5.
yeah.
If it's
Yeah. Just
if
thought it'd
it's
be
out of
easy.
5, if it's out of 5 for outgoings, I'll say 3 out of 5. For incomings, I'll say 4 out of 5. The only reason why I'm not giving it 5 out of 5 is because of how
Mm.
slow they were in negotiating those two deals.
Yeah, so what you're giving the ingoings 4 and the outgoings 5, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I'd pretty much agree with that. I mean, you sort of like you got the goal in. Raya was incredible because they actually said that was really last season or something that was
Oh
ongoing,
yeah.
but it counts as this season.
And also what Arsenal forgot to get is a striker.
Striker, yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, they needed a striker.
I'd
and they
probably
didn't
mark
get
it
it.
down for that they didn't get. I'll give it a 3. The the incomings.
Yeah, I've also reduced it to a 3.5 because of that. Because they needed a striker. They also needed like backup midfielders as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
yeah.
and they
Well,
didn't get that.
Panos give it 2 out of 5. It'd be up to you, Hanno. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I would go with that. Actually, thinking of that, I would go because, as you say, not getting the striker in and all that. I mean, it's that's one they really needed, wasn't it? They needed a proper striker.
Yeah,
They feel they had the false 9, like was it City have had with Havertz and all that. But he's never going to be good enough to do it. Get a load of goals in the season. Kai Havertz, I don't think he's going to go over 10, 12 goals a season or whatever. He will get goals, no doubt about it. He will add goals at times, but he's not great enough. He's not, a proper striker to do that. So for me, they haven't got a proper striker still. And, for that reason, it is a 2 out of 5, I would say. As Hanno's just said there. I think the good ones they have got out is, of course, Eddie Nketiah. He was on a lot of money there doing nothing. Was it 100,000 he was on or something a week or so?
I think so.
So really, that's a good thing that they got out. That the outgoings have been better than probably the incomings in a way.
But I feel like for the outgoings, they should have sold the outgoings like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And this season. Yeah.
Yeah. It's took Nketiah this long to go, isn't it? So let's be honest, they've been a bit slow with that. But yeah, I think with the likes of Raya coming in, Raya's been amazing. I wish we still had him, but there we go. We won't get him back. But and also the likes of probably Calafiori. I don't know that much about. I think he was in the Euros, wasn't he? He was playing in the Euros.
He was playing the Euros as a left back for Italy.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't look too bad, to be honest. And what was the other big? Well, Marino they brought in as well. That could be decent. He could be good. He scored for Spain, of course, as we know, in the Euros. Looks obviously he's injured at the moment, and obviously Sterling. Do you rate that as a good signing? As a loan thing? They're not actually. It's Chelsea that are paying it, aren't they? His wages.
I feel like Sterling is a good deal for Arsenal, considering also the amount of money they're paying. They're paying Sterling 100k, while Chelsea is paying Sterling like 75% of his wages. Arsenal starts covering 25%. So I feel like that's a good deal. Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's hope he performs, though. He's got to perform, hasn't
he? Even if he doesn't perform, you cannot blame him for. Cannot say that that's a bad deal, considering the amount of wages he's on. Yeah.
True. But I feel if they got him there, they want him to start doing something, and especially if he wants to get back in that England team as well. So, I would say he's got to start doing something. But yeah, so we'll move on, I think, from that. And I was going to ask Manny, but of course he's not here at the moment. He's supposed to be coming on very soon, though, because obviously it's his team, Arsenal, as we know. But we'll move on for the time being. We can always go back to it quickly when he comes on. But we'll go on to the next one and the next team, and that should be Villa. So we get to that. Yep, Aston Villa. The Inns, Ethan Amundsen Day, Copenhagen, undisclosed. Cameron Archer, Sheffield United, 14 million. Ross Barkley, Luton undisclosed. Enzo Baranchia. Juventus undisclosed. Lewis Dobbin, Everton 10 million. Samuel Inning Jr., Juventus undisclosed. Omar Kadir, ZED undisclosed. Ian Matson from Chelsea, 37.5 million. Amadou Onana, Everton, 50 million. Jaden Philogene, Hull City, 18 million. Max Jenner, West Brom on a free. And the outgoings, Tim Bunham to Everton, 9 million. Rico Richards, Port Vale on loan. Amari Kellerman, Chelsea, 90 million. Douglas Luiz, Juventus, 21 million. Moussa Diaby, Al Ittihad, undisclosed. Sebastian Revan, Wrexham, undisclosed. Don't know. Of course, Morgan Sands and Nice, 3.4 million. Callum Chambers, Cardiff, 3. Only really going through the ones that we sort of know now. Philip Coutinho, Vasco da Gama on loan. Anyone else there? Of course, Lewis Dobbin, Cameron Archer. Alex Moreno. What do you make of their transfer window, Carl?
I feel like Aston Villa has had a decent transfer window. Yeah, if considering they have bought on Onana would be a good replacement for Douglas Lewis. He's also younger than Douglas Lewis as well.
Yeah.
And he's cheaper. And then also they brought in that swap deal that they did with Juventus, plus they got some money. That's a good deal, considering they brought in 2 players and they sold 1 player and they've gotten money. So I can consider. And plus Samuel Iling, does he play left wing or right wing?
Who's that?
The Juventus player, Samuel.
Samuel Winning Jr. I'm not sure, Kyle. I don't know, mate. To be honest, I've never heard of him, to be honest. But
I think I've heard of him. He was highly rated last summer. I think big clubs wanted him last summer, and then he decided to stay at Juventus.
Right. I'm not sure. I've never really heard of him, to be honest.
Yeah, he's a left winger. He can play left right winger. And Aston Villa sold their right winger, Bo. Is it Bo?
Yeah, he's only 20 years old. He's a winger or wing back. It said he was at Bologna, but it's saying here Juventus. Is it Juventus or is it?
No, he was bought from Juventus, but now he was loaned back. He was loaned to Bulgaria. It was a swap deal. He was part of the swap deal with another player as well. It was Enzo Baranchia. It's another Argentinian midfielder. He was part of the swap deal with Douglas Lewis.
Yeah, it's also saying he was actually born here in England, in Islington, London.
Yeah. So for us, Villa, that could also be good. Homegrown profits as well. If they decide to sell him later on in the future. So I can rate the transfer window. It was a decent transfer window. Can say it's like a 3 out of 5 for incomings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's better than Arsenal's, isn't it, you would say, this one?
I wouldn't say it's really better than Arsenal's, but...
Well, he got some good players. Ross Barkley, he was brilliant for Luton, wasn't he? Let's be honest. And Cameron Archer.
Yeah. But I feel like Aston Villa needed a left back replacement. Also needed certain backs. Considering they're going to play Champions League football, they need also a right back as well. So they didn't strengthen in the defense.
Well, Nana was a great signing, as you're saying. I think Matson looked good at Chelsea.
Yeah,
Philogene.
Madsen is a left. Oh yeah, Madsen is a left back. So
Mm.
yeah, that's a good signing. I'll still rate it at 3 out of 5. There's no significant signing they did. And then
Yeah,
for
I
outgoings,
probably agree. Yeah.
yeah, for outgoings, it has been a good outgoing as well, considering that sub deal they had with Douglas Lewis. I didn't know if they didn't do that deal of Douglas Lewis, Aston Villa could have faced FFP charges,
mm,
or like 10 points deduction.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
said that goings will be 4.5 out of 5. And then
Right.
incomings I'll say 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I think we just give it overall, not ins and outs. We just give it a total. What you think altogether?
Oh, okay.
Just
What I think altogether I'll say Aston Villa is 4 out of 5.
mm,
Arsenal I'll give it at 4.25 out of 5. Yeah.
well, as I say, for the not having getting the striker for them, I would say a 3 for me. And this one, I'm going to give about a 4. I think for Villa. Because I
First,
think they've got some decent ones in there. I think Matson's got Anana. Philogene was great at Hull. And he was also England international, I believe, under 21s or whatever. So I think he's really good. Big up to you, Mr. T. Thanks for joining us at last.
Yeah, I should apologise.
No
Lateness is
worries.
not great. I had to do another a small errand, making some dinner for my old man, and obviously you're talking about the transfer windows. But did I miss anything else?
No, pretty much all that. We've been going through that, and we've gone through the ratings. Obviously, Arsenal. What did we give them? We give them a 3. Well, I give them a 3, didn't I? You give them a 4. Something, did you? Arsenal.
I gave them a 4.25 out of 5. I feel like I couldn't have given Arsenal a 4.5 because of the incomings. Because Arsenal still needed like a striker,
Yeah.
and they needed like backup midfielders. So that's why I didn't give them a
And
4.5
obviously,
out of 5. Yeah.
yeah.
For
And
me,
also
Arsenal get
also,
no more than a 3. I'm afraid.
Yeah. So you agree with me, really?
Yes, I do, Mr. B.
That's what I said, and you know, not getting the striker is the real issue there, isn't it? You didn't get the striker that you should have.
Exactly. Now we've had a lot of outgoings, which is welcome, really, and the money that we got for some of these players, Ramsdale and Nketiah, among others, it's a steal, really, and I'm grateful that we were able to get something. But having said all of that, I'm not going to be one of those people who will thumb my nose at the Mikel Merino signing, because a lot of people are going to say he wasn't good enough to be starting for Spain, but he did play a very pivotal role in making sure. Yeah, that was in the quarterfinal. It was effectively the goal in the very last minute of extra time, which ensured that that Spain would go through to the semi-finals at the expense of the host nation. And obviously, it was heartbreaking for the Germans, especially for those who announced their retirement almost immediately after the tournament. But I would definitely go so far to say that his being injured has not helped at all, and again with Sterling as well, we're signing a player obviously with a great deal many points to prove, but there is of course this idea that he is effectively past his prime. And we shouldn't be saying that about a person who is not even into his 30s yet. But it's kind of sad in many ways how how far his stock has fallen. He's gone from being, one of the biggest stars that we've had in England to someone who's now on the fringes, and it shouldn't be that way. But I really can't rate this window very highly, and some of these players who've come in have are still not quite proven, in my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see how they do. And the latest news, of course, is that Kieran Tierney has been named by Arteta in the squad.
Oh,
But
right.
in my opinion, the manager's taking the mickey.
Yeah, exactly.
Taking the Mikel, as we might say.
Yeah, but anyway, what would you say have been the hits, though? What would you regard as the best buyers, Raya, for a start? I wish we still had him.
Raya, definitely,
Really?
because it is quite crystal clear that Arteta now considers him to be the number one, and I think he's certainly proven himself to be a very capable goalkeeper. But any of these idiots who dare to claim that he is the best goalkeeper in the league simply by virtue of the clean sheets he kept last season, they all need to wind their necks in, because there were times last season, and I'm not being salty or whatever, Steve. I just think that there are still some weaknesses to his game, and I want to see him develop even further with us by playing another full season before we can actually start, embracing him and really welcoming him. And of course, because we weren't able to get the Spanish keeper that we wanted, we ended up,
he's not on here, the one. Was it the guy from Bournemouth you got in?
Yeah,
Neto.
Neto.
Yeah.
And I was sort of wondering why, he would even. We would even go for someone like him, given that he is, of course, Bournemouth's captain. But then when they got Kepa in, how they got him in, I won't know. When they got him in, I kind of figured that there would be some competition for the goalkeeping spot, and then maybe Neto would be affected. So when Arsenal saw the opportunity to try and get an experienced goalkeeper who's played in at some pretty big clubs and now has 2 full seasons of Premiership experience, it was sort of a no-brainer. But I don't think Neto's going to play very much. And with all due respect to him, he is a decent keeper, but certainly not world-class. He's certainly, I think maybe being a backup is his level. But if Raya gets injured, then all we can do is, hope and pray that it won't be serious.
Yeah, but I think the main ones for you also were getting rid of Eddie and Nketiah, because he was on there taking the mickey when he all that money and not playing and coming on or getting goals or anything. So he had to go, didn't he, eventually? It took a long time, long enough, but you actually got rid of him at last. And do you think he'd do anything at Palace, though? Do you think he'd make them any better?
I think it'll depend on what Oliver Glasner decides to do in terms of tactics. And I think, he clearly values Nketiah enough to try and want to buy him. So maybe he'll have a plan for him. But again, we will have to see. I'm pretty certain that, there are several managers in the league who have the ability of, ability to be able to turn sow's ears into silk purses. And maybe Nketiah could prove to be another of Arteta's trash players who goes on to be another manager's treasure. We'll find out.
Yeah, anyway, we moved on to, obviously, we were just doing Aston Villa, me and Kyle there. And what did you give Villa again, Kyle, for their track? Did you give them 4 or something?
Yeah, I said Villa, I'll give them a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5.
Yeah, they had a slightly better transfer window. Just that they didn't strengthen in some positions that I felt like they should have. I felt like for Villa, they needed to strengthen on the right wing, especially the right wing, considering they could have sold. I think they sold the right winger. I don't know whether that's true. And also they needed,
Musa Diaby, they did sell him. He went to Saudi.
yeah. And also, I think for Villa, they needed squad depth, considering they're playing Champions League football, and plus they're playing more games than most of the clubs are playing in England.
Yeah. Well, I give them 4, didn't I? and because I think of the decent ones they got in like Matson and Onana, of course, Philogene, Barkley, Cameron Archer, pretty good signings. So yeah, I think a 4. What do you think of this one, Manny? What do you think of Villa?
I think in retrospect, when you take a look at their first 3 games, they don't have a proper replacement for Diaby. And the thing about Moussa Diaby is that Emery was able to get them to really work well together, and he and Leon Bailey brought out the best in each other. There's no doubt about it. Now, of course, with Diaby gone, we've seen Bailey struggle having to take the workload of being the sole right winger, and he could be subject to a few injury issues. You just don't know. I think Emery's done really well in terms of trying to get some players who would be normally ignored by other clubs, but who are, quality players in their own right. And Matson, of course, being one example, Champions League finalist with Borussia Dortmund last season.
Yeah.
And in addition, his capture of the likes of Morgan Rogers, Amadou Onana, and others, he has the ability to truly see something in some of these players and really get the best out of them. And Onana has been an absolute bargain so far. Morgan Rogers from last season has also been splendid. But the issue of squad depth could come back to haunt them. And this is going to be a very difficult Champions League format. And the worst part is that once you're out of the Champions League, you're out of European contention altogether. No dropping down to the Europa League or the Conference League or whatever. No, nothing. So Emery now has to try and get everything absolutely spot on. And I don't know, now that the transfer window is over, if he'll get another chance to have a good right winger who can, really do well. He'll have to really look into his squad. I'd probably give this a sort of a 3.5 because one thing he has done well, though, is that he's gotten rid of certain players who probably won't be a part of his plans, or who had to be sold in order to comply with PSR. Douglas Luiz and Moussa Diaby were let go because, they had to raise some dosh for the PSR. But again, when it comes to getting in some players who you need for squad depth, I don't know if they've actually been able to do that much. And the defending is still going to be a very, very key issue this season. We saw against Arsenal that they were still very, very sloppy. And that is something that Emery will have to address as the season goes on. So again, they're not really going to challenge for the league, but it'll be tough to see it'll be interesting to see if they can hold on to their Champions League position. I don't know if they will, but again, this is a funny old league. We've seen a lot of things happen. I just think that because they haven't quite gotten everything that they would normally want, and there were 1 or 2 extra players who could also have been gotten rid of. I'm only going to give him a 3.5 for this one.
Can you actually see him getting top 4 though, Manny, or not? And you, Carl, can you see him getting top 4?
No,
5?
I don't see them getting top 4. Though I see them getting potentially Europa League next season.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be sort of like fifth, 6th, maybe something like that.
Or maybe Conference League. They could go the same path as Newcastle. You never know.
Yeah. What about you, Manny? Can you see him getting top 5 or not? Or
definitely top 6, but not top 4.
Right. So maybe 5th or 6th, really.
Absolutely.
And going back to Arsenal, can you? I don't think you're going to win the Premier. I'm sorry, I don't think you will. I can't see it happening. So I would say 2nd or 3rd for Arsenal. What do you think, Manny?
I've gone for 3rd. I've said this in a few streams.
What about you, Carl?
Yeah, I'll say Arsenal will get 3rd potentially. I feel like Liverpool could finish above Arsenal. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll move on to Bournemouth now. And they brought in Daniel Jebison, Sheffield United, 1.5 million. Alex Paulson, Wellington Phoenix, 2 million. Luis Sinisterra from Leeds, 20 million. Enes Unel from Getafe for 40 million. Kobe Motto from Portsmouth, 3. Dean Huijsen from Juventus, 15.2. Julian Araujo from Barcelona, 8 million. Evanilson, who looks really good. Porto, 40 million. And Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea on loan. And we know who went out. Solanke, Spurs, 65 million. Kiefer Moore, Sheffield United, undisclosed. Lloyd Kelly, Newcastle, 3, of course. Jamal Lowe, Sheffield Wednesday, 3. Anyone else? Marcondos, who we had at the Bees at one stage. Harry Redknapp Jr. Darren Randolph, Jaden Anthony, Chris Mepham, another XB to Sunderland on loan, and nobody else really.
And of course, they haven't updated it to include Neto leaving for Arsenal, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. What do you make of the transfer window there, Manny?
They spent wisely. They got a good sum for Solanke. They seem to have also been eager to buy a few players who might go under the radar. And I thought Justin Kluivert was last season's Player of the Year in every way, and should have been a candidate for Player of the Season for the way he played. And maybe this time around, this season, he'll continue where he left off and find a way back into the Dutch squad for the Nations League and potentially World Cup qualification. Especially since Ronald Koeman has opted to dispense with the services of Steven Bergwijn and Gini Wijnaldum and a few others. He's also not going to pick Martin de Roon. I don't know why. So Kluivert should be willing to find a way back, and hopefully he will. And
so what rating
this should be a season where they end up finishing mid-table, and I think I'm also tempted to give this one a 3.5, I think, because, they've done some really, really good work, and they've certainly brought in some players who could freshen up the squad. I just don't know if they've been able to buy one player who I would look at and say, yeah, he's going to be a difference maker. Huijsen, the defender, looks to be a good buy, but we'll see how well he goes.
Well, they certainly don't never know when to quit, do they? Never say die. It's when the fat lady sung, They don't know that, and then they seem to come back like 2-0 down against Everton, and somehow what a recovery that was.
Absolutely. And Sinisterra, who came in from Leeds, he just repaid a huge chunk of that fee.
Yeah, he's decent. And what about you, Carl? What do you make of their window?
For Bournemouth, I'll say they had a decent transfer window. They sold Solanke for a good fee, and also they brought in Billison. That's a good replacement for Solanke. However, Billison has not been playing as expected in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
So and then also brought in they've brought in Araujo, who's a good right back. Kepa will be a good replacement for Neto. And then they brought in a left winger in Luis. Yeah. So I'll rate it a decent one. I rate it 3 out of 5.
And obviously getting that striker Evanilson as well.
But the problem with Evanilson, he hasn't started his life at Bournemouth as people have expected him to start.
Yeah, but he's he's got a bit of time. He's only just come there, and he's got to get used to it all. A new league, Premiership is a lot more difficult than being in obviously in the Portuguese league before and all that. It's a lot more to the Premier, as we know. It's a lot quicker. You don't get that much time on the ball. things like that. And, it's a lot quicker pace. So, yeah. And, if you make a mistake in the Premier, you pay for it generally as well. So I think he'll come good. I'm sure he will. They paid 40 mil for him, so he must be really decent. So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent window. I'd probably pretty much agree with what Manny said as well. I think they're going to be mid-table. I can't see them being in danger, really, in relegation. So what would you give their window? What would you give it out of 5, Carl?
I'll say C out of 5.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, only thing you say, they got rid of guaranteed goals in Solanke, but then it hasn't seemed to have mattered, has it? They hadn't really cost them anything. They still scoring, and they come back into games. They were dead and buried for all the world against Everton, and still come back. So, yeah, and we move on to a certain West London team called the Bees, Brentford, and I think I'll start here, lads, and since that is my team, but yeah, I think it's been a good window for us. I really do. Got Inigo Thiago. The only thing we can say with that, he's injured. That's the problem. 30 mil from Club Brugge, and he was brought in really to replace Tony, and he was going to get all the goals, and he started off really well in the friendlies, pre-season matches, and getting plenty of goals, and unfortunately got injured, which is a shame. He looks really good. I really like this bloke. He looks amazing, and I think he will certainly score plenty of goals when he comes back. Don't know much about Simoibian. I've never heard of him, really. Benjamin Frederick Simoibian, undisclosed. I don't know him. Or Julian Eyestone from Duke Blue Devils 3. But the main other ones are Fabio Carvalho for me. Very good signing. I just want to see him, get into it eventually. I don't think he's quite clicked yet for us. But he's only played 2 or 3 games, and not the whole games either. So 27.5 million. Seth Vandenberg, another from Liverpool. I think looks decent what I've seen so far. 25 million, but he's obviously yet to get into it and gel. Of course, Jane Meghoma, who we signed, another left back from Southampton, 5 million plus bonuses. Could be decent. I haven't seen that much of him either. But, we needed another left back. We got him. Of course, Rico Henry forever out, injured. So, we needed a left back. And, we could afford him. So we got him. And, of course, we also got the other player there. He's not mentioned. I don't know why he's not here. What's his name? Gustavo Nunez. Of course, 18 million. Wonder Kid, apparently, from Gremio. So, I'd be interested to see him when he plays as well, when he comes in. So I think it's been a really good window. I mean, of course, getting out tight. Tony's gone. That's the big thing for us. And okay, only 40 mil. I would have liked 50 mil plus, probably 60, whatever, 70 even. But we'll take 40. And he's gone. That's the main thing. A bit disappointed with Raya going, but of course Arsenal got the better deal out of it, and they didn't spend a great deal on him. Didn't give us a great deal. We should have got more. But anyway, we took that to 27 mil. Frank Onyeka out on loan to Augsburg. I'm fairly happy with. I don't think he's done that much here. I don't know much about Daniel Oyegoka. To Hearts, undisclosed. Shandon Baptiste was released, of course, and went to Luton on a free. I'm not sure about him either, anyway. Strakosha, I'm a bit sad to see. I think he's decent. I think he was really decent keeper. Of course, Albanian international. Aikafan's gone there on a free. I'm a bit disappointed in that. I would like to keep him, but there we go. Angel Waria, I don't know, Eastleigh on a free. Salmon Godos, of course, released. He may be coming back at some stage, we don't know. Charlie Good to Stevenage on a free, I'm happy with that. Angelini, don't know about release. Charlie Farr, don't know. There's so many. Ellery Balcom, no, another one. Decent keeper as well. It's gone to St Mirren on loan. Young keeper. Bit disappointed with that. But anyway, Michael Olakigbe looks good, but gone to Wigan on loan. Tristan Kramer, X2 on loan, and Finley Stevens, St Pauli, undisclosed. So, you know what? I'm going to give us a 4.5. I don't think it's quite 5. But a 4.5 because I mean we got players in that we needed to get extra players in. We really did, and I think we've done pretty well with this window. You know, and Carvalho and that is going to be great overall altogether. Going to be fantastic, and Vandenberg, Thiago when he comes back from injury, and obviously this other new guy, Gustavo Nunez. So. We've done well, and getting rid of Tony and right. Well, Tony maybe mainly as well. Anyway, so what do you make of it, Kyle?
I'll say for Tony it will be a big decrease in. Oh, it will be a big decrease in Bedford's like attack because Tony guaranteed you guys goals consistently. Yeah, and he did get a good amount of money. But 40 M is better than nothing. And also he did do very good transfers with Fabio Calavi, Van Besch. Yeah. So I'll give that a 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm fairly happy with it. How about you, Manny? What are you going to give this?
I'll agree with Kyle and give it a 4, a solid 4. And big up to you. Wonderful to see you. United TV, of course.
Rich. Yeah.
Rich from Rich Sports, of course, and one of the channels that I always like to go on whenever I can. And so obviously the big headlines were getting rid of Tony and also finalising the Raya deal and getting some decent signings. Was Valdemarson mentioned as one of your incomings? Because with Strakosha going, he should have been mentioned, I think.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he was there, to be honest, either. Yeah. I don't know why. I thought this was fairly up to date, but obviously it can't be. But yeah, Valdemarson is another good. I do rate that guy. He looks good. I don't think his kicking's that great, kicking out, passing out. But not all goalies can do that anyway. Let's be honest. Some are better at other things than something. Like saving, for instance, shot savers, which I'd rather have, and keepers that come and get the ball out from corners, when there's corners or crosses or free kicks. I want to see them, command their box. That's what I like. I'm not that bothered about the passing out because I don't think they should do that anyway. I know it's like they've been told they should, and they're saying, well, you've got to pass it out. But I don't think you should. I don't think it's good, and especially if you've got somebody who can't do it, that's not up to it. Why do that? It's just asking for trouble, as far as I'm concerned. And, and by the way, Rich, I wasn't quite happy with the fee. I'd rather have more. I think 50 mil or more, probably 60, 70 even. I would have loved that. But, of course, as we know, it went down because he was in his last year of the contract. So, the fact we got something for him is great. 40 mil. because we could have got nothing, and that wouldn't have been great either. So, yeah, 40 mil we're settled for, and better than losing him for nothing, as you just said. Yep, definitely. And what about this, Manny? What would you make of this question? Did Arsenal do enough to get closer to City?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I don't need to expand on that, but no, they didn't. The fact that we still don't have a striker is still a cause for concern. I'm sorry to say that. And there was some talk about Trossard also being courted by a club from Saudi Arabia. I think that was pretty much quashed. Trossard and Martinelli are going to have big seasons ahead of them, and they actually could be on the left what Saka and Sterling will hopefully be on the right. I'm assuming that Sterling will play on the right and provide competition for Saka, because Trossard and Martinelli already do some pretty decent work between themselves on the left. But no striker. We're still having to depend on Havertz, who will score occasionally but miss even more sitters. So no, Rich, to answer your question, mate, we have not done enough. And as for your win, did I rate your window, by the way? I don't think I did.
Oh, yes, you did. You said 4, didn't you? You said 4, and I think Carl said 4 as well. So
yeah, cool.
But yeah, big up to you, Chelsea fan. Thanks for coming in here, my friend. Great to see you again. And keep hitting the like button and sub to the channels. Yeah, I agree. Keep doing that, people. And yeah, Chelsea fan, I agree with you, Manny. Yeah. But
thanks, Chelsea fan.
So I think, I kept saying that, I know people said, well, it could be delusional here, but I'm still saying I think we can get 12. I think that'd be a great position for us, 12. We're not going to be in the top 10. That's not going to happen. I just don't think we got quite enough to do that. But I think 12 will be great, and a chance of maybe winning the League Cup or something, which we're in. We're in that. We got Leyton Orient next, so we should progress. I just feel, we're in with a chance of maybe winning the League Cup, at least a cup. So that'd be great for us. But if we miss out again, we miss out. And if we get, but I'd like to see us get 12th. I'd like that. I'd love that. People have been saying that I read somewhere we ain't got enough and we'll be in relegation trouble again. I don't think we will. I really don't think we will. I think we'll be a little bit better than last season, definitely. We haven't lost players like Bomo and Visser, people like that, which is going to help. We still got them. Lewis Potter and everything, Jensen, Norgard, all still here. So why would we be in trouble? What do you say about that, Manny? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. And, the way you started the season, you certainly don't look to be in any trouble as of yet. Touch wood, of course. And I think there are quite a few teams in this division who are already looking dead cert for relegation unless they get their acts together. And I'm pretty certain that you will not be in that desperate a state either. And I do like the work that Frank has so far managed to do. And even, I remember, Steve, that there were moments last season when you were starting to doubt him and wonder maybe if he had, run his course. But, he's still standing, as Elton John would say, looking like a true survivor, feeling like a little kid in some ways. Yep. Better than he's ever been. And
like the sun don't go down on him either. So, but no, I think that's I think I agree. I don't think there's anyone else that could get in if he does go. I just can't see anyone else that would do the job he can do. So Mr. Chelsea fan, so I agree with you, Mr. B. Yeah, cheers, mate. And anyway, Carl, what did you actually, Manny? What position do you think we'll be? Do you agree with 12th, or do you think we'll be a little bit lower or a little bit higher even?
I think 12th is actually a reasonable thing. I mean, I remember doing, a stream or two where we were talking about the potential league positions. I might have I might have said mid-table. I just don't quite remember where. But 12th is certainly not beyond your means if you can just keep doing what you're doing, and you should be considered one of the success stories. But don't let this get to your head, because remember, we said the same thing about Bournemouth under Eddie Howe, and not too long afterwards they got relegated. So don't get complacent, because remember what I said? Just when you think you can say, I am invincible, a can of liquid nitrogen can explode and freeze you into an ice lolly.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, what about you, Carl? Where do you think? Did you rate us, or did you give us a rating, Brentford? And
Yeah,
where do you think
I give you guys a 4 out of 5.
4?
Where where I think Brentford will finish, I'll say number 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I
take
feel
that.
like yeah.
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Mm, I feel like Fulham will finish above you because Fulham has had a better transfer window. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. I'll take 12th or 13th, to be honest. I mean, it's going to be better than last season anyway. Let's be honest. So, but yeah, now Brighton, and we go to you, Kyle, for this one. What do you think? They bought Yankuba Minta, Brighton, 25 million. Ibrahim Osman from Nordisland, 16 million. Mats Rifa on final, 25 million. Malik Yelkoye, IFK Gothenburg, 6 million. And Mario Kozia Dubry from Arsenal.
Yep.
Manny knows him. Brian Gruder from Mainz for 25 million. Jorginho Ruta from Leeds United, 40 million. Matt O'Reilly, unfortunately, got injured. Terrible start for him. Undisguised, the player we were after, actually, another Danish international. Was linked with us, but never mind. 30, Kadia Oglu from Fenerbahce, 25 million. And those are the outs. Of course, Billy Gilmore gone to Napoli, 16 million. Pascal Gross, of course, another one. Good player, they let go. Dennis Sundath, Stuttgart. Lallana, of course. Anyone else? So they've let a lot go there.
And Kozia Dubry was signed by Brighton, but has now been sent to Blackburn on loan.
Blackburn on loan, yeah. I think Sarmiento was another one that they said about was quite good. But yeah. So what do you make of this one, Kyle? Do you think it's a good window for them, or?
For Brighton, the one thing I can say about Brighton, they always have a good scouting system. Yeah, I feel like Matt Wefa is a good signing. I think he plays in the midfield. Is it CDM position? And then Matt Ori will be a good signing for the midfield. That's CM. Then what's the other one underneath Matt Ori? Oh, for Fadi. Fadi is a good signing. He's a very versatile player. Can play left back, center. He can play left back, right back, in the midfield. So that's a good signing. I'll rate. And also selling players like Maham Dahoud, Billy Gilma. Those are good sales as well. Yeah, so I rate it 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, I think they've done better. I thought they was going to struggle a bit this season, having a new manager and young manager, of course, as well, 31 years old. But I thought they was going to struggle, losing certain players as well. But if anything, they've done better. They've done a lot brilliant start to the season, and especially that result against Arsenal, Manny. What result there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also the one against. Sorry, the one against Man United as well. Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. Can't forget that one. We all said United would win, didn't we? Yeah. Look what happened there. But yeah, what are you going to say about this one, Manny?
Well, I mean, I was actually surprised that you let players like Pascal Gross and Adam Lallana and Dennis Undav leave, because I thought that they were very pivotal to you, to Brighton's progress last season, in the seasons gone by. But clearly, Herzela wants to freshen up the squad a little bit, and he wants to make sure that he has players who will, really add a lot more in terms of value to the team. And he's bought well. Again, some other players that I wouldn't even know, whose names I might even I might struggle to. No, I mean, I take a look at Minte and I see a player who looks absolute quality. Rutter from Leeds can definitely come in, and you see the type of players they bring in. They bring a lot of these players who are sort of, decent players at clubs at a lower level who have that sort of bottle to do well in the Premiership, and some decently rated foreigners. So that's pretty much the scouting part of the scouting system that Kyle mentions.
Yeah,
I'd rate this one. You know what? I think I'll rate this one possibly a 3.5. No real big signings, but
no.
if Minte continues to do as well as he's been doing, then he will definitely have justified the decision to get him in.
Where do you think they're going to finish? Maybe mid-table or?
I'd say top 10, maybe maybe 10th. I don't know if I can necessarily tell you where I think they'll finish right now, but I think that they should definitely finish in the top half. And of course, as we speak, they're in the Champions League places, but we all know they're not going to stay there for very long.
No. No, it's not going to be the same at the end of the season, this table, is it? So I don't think anyway. But what about you, Carl? Where do you think they're going to finish, Brighton?
Yeah, I'll say for Brighton they'll finish number 10. Of course, with having a young manager, they've started the season well, but we know Brighton, they're not that consistent with good performances throughout the whole season. So I expect their performances to dip at least mid-season. So I'll say they'll finish top 10, but number 10th.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. I would say the same. So we move on to Chelsea. In Kiernan Dewsbury Hall from Leicester, 30 million. Mark Guéhi, whatever his name is there, Barcelona, 5 million. Amari Kenneman, Aston Villa, 19 million. Tosin from Fulham, 3 on a free. Pedro Neto, Wolves, 54 million. Renato Vega, FC Basel, 12 million. Caleb Wiley at Atlanta United, undisclosed. Estevio Willian from Palmeiras, 29.1. Philip Jorgensen, Villarreal, 20.7 million. Aaron Enzilminio from Boca Juniors, 15.6. João Felix, of course, Atletico Madrid, 46.3. Mike Penders, Genk, 17 million, joins next year, summer of 2025. And Jadon Sancho, Man United, on loan. And out, of course, Conor Gallagher, Atletico Madrid, 36 million. Romelu Lukaku, Napoli, 25.2. Alfie Gilchrist, Sheffield United loan. Chibu Yusi, I don't know him, come in. Oh, Lewis Hall, of course, Newcastle, 28 million. Amari Hutchinson, who looks pretty decent. Ipswich, 18 million. And of course, Matson to Villa, 37.5. Kepa to Bournemouth on loan. Thiago Silva, of course, Fluminense on a free. Malang Sarr, Lens on a free. The list goes on here, doesn't it? Obviously, Lukaku to Napoli, 37.9. And Sterling, of course, and to Arsenal on loan, and Armando Broja to Everton on loan. What do you think about this one, Manny?
Well, I would be tempted to say that they did well, but then for the financial muscle that they have, they had to make some of those signings, and they had to get rid of some of the players they did. And I do definitely believe that uh, they will be under a lot of pressure to make their signings count this season. Neto obviously looks to be a good purchase, as does um, Jorgensen's also more than capable goalkeeper, and I would expect him to really challenge Bobby Sanchez for his place. And
Mm,
the players they've got in, you'd expect them to really provide a bigger challenge for the existing stars in that Chelsea team. But obviously, Maresca has, you know, uh, decided to burn bridges with a couple of players already, and it will remain to be seen whether or not his uncompromising, no nonsense style will really win his players over. I know that Guardiola was famous for doing the same thing, but Maresca is no Guardiola, and neither, for that matter, is Mikel Arteta. And
no.
obviously, when you consider letting Gallagher and Lukaku go, um, they're sort of underperforming players in a way, players from whom a lot is expected, but you very rarely see them, deliver the goods, as it were. And I think, you know, yeah, I would rate this one definitely a 3 out of 5. The jury is still out on them. They really have to convince, a lot of people that they're really serious about going quite far. And the fact that they haven't made too much money when you on aggregate, given the players they've let go, I think they can
Mm,
look at it and say, you know what, maybe we should have done better with a few others. Or for most of them, they've sent them out on loan.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much agree. What position? Where do you think they're going to finish, Manny?
I could
Where,
see them finishing in the European places, but not in the Champions League places.
right. So something like maybe 7th, something like that, 6th, 7th, or 8th, maybe, or
Yeah, doing battle with Aston Villa.
right. How about you, Carl?
For Chelsea, I won't rate it that highly. I rate the window at two out of five. I feel
Mm,
like for Chelsea they needed more leaders in that squad. Yeah, they needed a forward, a world class forward. Each they got in Felix, but I don't think it's that world class. Then they also need a centre back and also a goalkeeper.
mm,
Yeah, and also I feel like they needed to replace their left back because Chilwell is not good to be a good left back for them. And also signings like Sancho. Sancho has attitude problems as well.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, that won't be a good signing because even if it's on loan, that's option to buy. It is mandatory. I don't think that's a good signing for Chelsea.
mm,
Yeah. Then also, yeah. Where I think Chelsea will finish, I'll say Chelsea will finish number 11th, below.
Wow.
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, that's what Chelsea fan thinks as well. He thinks they're finished 10th.
No, because
Uh,
if you see how Chelsea played against Crystal Palace,
mm,
Chelsea was ahead. Chelsea could have, if they just got one more goal, they could have sealed that win. But they
yeah,
bottled
yeah,
the win. And and towards the end of the game, Crystal Palace looked like they were going to win it.
mm.
Yeah.
Don't
Then
you think
also,
they need time? They need time. Maresco might need a bit of time, and you think because you see how Pochettino was playing with that. Near the end of the season, they were playing well, weren't they? They got it together. They started, moving up the table and getting the results and everything. They were doing really well. They were gelling the team, weren't they? Getting it together. So does he not need just a little bit more time to get this team playing?
I feel like for Maresca, I'll say he'll need like 3 seasons because the
Mm,
mess at which Chelsea is in a deep mess. They need leaders on the pitch. They need to also because they have too many young players and there's no much experienced players on the pitch. You can tell by how they play. There's not that much experience players, so they need to clear out some players here.
yeah.
And but will the Chelsea owners be willing to give him that amount of time this season to do that. I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, well, let's see anyway. They got a little while, as you say. Though I don't think they are going to be. Well, they might just sneak into the conference again or something like that. I don't know, but I don't think they're going to be. They're not going to be top 5 or anything, 6 or anything. So, can't see them being up there. So,
So it's fair to say that Sterling dodged a bullet, in fact, by going away from Chelsea.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I would say about probably a 2 or 3 for that window. Probably a 3. And getting rid of Gallagher, do you think Gallagher should have gone? I think they still wanted him there, didn't they? Wanted to keep him. I'm sure the fans
they wanted to keep him.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm saying they wanted to keep him.
Mm.
I feel like the Gallagher deal was a bad deal for Chelsea. They should have kept him. Yeah. But of course, FFP required them to sell him for profit.
Yeah, I think that was a shame, really. But there you go. But these things happen, I suppose. They had to get rid of him. But now we move on to Palace, though. They brought in Chadi Riyad from Barcelona, 40 million. Eddie Nketiah, of course, from Arsenal, 30 million. Daichi Kamada from Lazio on a free. Jemiah Imolu from West Ham on a free. Ismaila Sarr from Marseille, 11 million. Maxence Lacroix from Wolfsburg, 21 million with add-ons. And Matt Turner, another one Manny will know, Nottingham Forest, on loan.
I think the reason why they've got Matt Turner is because they decided to let Sam Johnston go to Wolves. So they needed another backup. Right, yeah. And that's another ex-Arsenal player going to Crystal Palace. So Holding and Nketiah now have some company.
Exactly. But I tell you what, though, I'm not sure about the outgoings with Anderson. I rate him, Joachim Anderson. He's gone to Fulham, 30 million. He's one I think we could have done with Brentford. I would loved him to come to the Bees, but and he's a footballing centre back, isn't he? He plays out, he plays it well, he passes it around, he scores as well.
He does.
Odsonne Edouard to Leicester on loan. And Elise, cool. Getting rid of him, that was a big one. Letting him go by Munich, 50.8. Many of these others not totally well. Tompkins, of course, we know he's released. Riedereld was released. Don't know that many of the others. Of course, Sam Johnston, as you mentioned, Manny, to Wolves, 10 million. John Nye to Leicester, 7.5. And Odsonne Edouard. So, what do you make of this one, Manny?
I think when you cumulatively look at the players they got in and the players they let go, you can't give this one any more than a 3. Letting Anderson go, as you say, is madness. Odsonne Edouard, why you'd let him go, I have no idea. I think clearly Glasner sees something in Nketiah that Arteta doesn't, and I remember saying that maybe Nketiah could go on to be a treasure player for another manager who just happens to be trash for Mikel Arteta. But it just goes to show that certain players who are trash for Mikel Arteta do go on to be actual treasures, full stop. Any guesses about whom I'm speaking?
Who?
Yeah.
You know, Mr. B, you know.
So say it again. Who are you saying?
You know exactly who I'm talking about.
Treasures, did you say?
Yeah, not just treasures,
Eddie.
but actual diamonds.
Is it Eddie?
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's all right. I know. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I know you're talking about, Manny. It's cool, mate. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. You're number one, I think you're on about, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah. Emmy. Yeah.
He won
Yeah.
us an FA Cup, and still that ungrateful git decided to get rid of him because he valued Leno much higher. Fat lot of good that did us. But anyway, I'd rate Crystal Palace's window a 3 out of 5 because there are some players you just cannot think of getting rid of, no matter what. And I don't even know if the replacements are going to be quite good enough to, do the job. You want to get rid of someone? Send Rob Holding out on loan for Pete's sake.
Got Baldy, yeah. Definitely. I think that's hampered them, all this, and especially in Ketia and everything. I just 30 mil for him. You bloody tore their hands off, didn't you, for that?
Yeah, just goes to show that sometimes crazy people and their cash are soon parted. But maybe, as I said, Glasner sees something in him. We'll see how well he does. And obviously, when Palace come back to the Emirates Stadium, there will be, some really good reunions.
Yeah, I think it's made SARS good, though. I rate him. They got some decent signings, one or two of those. So, I thought they'd be better than what they are with Glasner. I don't know though. I think they're a bit unlucky against us because we didn't really start that well. Although we beat them, of course, 2-1. But they were unlucky. I think they're a bit sharper. A few games in, they would have done better against us. But I'm not sure. I think they got rid of some really good players as well. So I don't think they could be as high as I think they were going to be. I think maybe say, I don't know, 12th, 11th, something like that. Well, if we're 12th, they won't be there. I'd say about 11th, Palace, maybe. I don't know. I don't think they'll be top 10 somehow, though. What about you, Carl? What do you reckon?
I rate it. It was a good transfer window for Crystal Palace, especially the outgoings. Olise will be missed definitely on the wings.
Yeah.
And also, and also like getting players like Kamada. Kamada is a good attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Even though he's not in this, even though he's not in his younger ages, but he's a good player. Also, people like Eddie. Eddie, I feel like could thrive at Crystal Palace, and then bring back people like Sir. Remember Sir? Ismaila Sir from Marcel. That's a good signing. And then Maxwell Lex will be a good centre back signing, replacing Anderson that left. Yeah, so I'll give them a good 4 out of 5. Yeah, and where I think Crystal Palace could finish the transfer in the Premier League, I'll say they'll finish number 9th in the Premier League.
9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Manny? Where do you think they'll finish?
Yeah, I concur with Carl. I think they'll be fighting with Brighton for, they'll be fighting closely to see which of them will finish above the other. And Palace should still finish in the top half of the table, but they won't be competing for Europe the way they started the season, I'm afraid.
No. I pretty much agree with all that. And but Everton now, we moved on to them. In Aurel Mangala from Leon on a loan deal. Amari Benjamin, Arsenal 3, another Arsenal. Jack Harrison, Leeds, loan, I rate, very good player. Tim Oregbunham from Aston Villa, 9 million. Iliman Enjoy from Marseille, 20 million. Jesper Lindstrom, Napoli loan. Jake O'Brien, Leon for 17 million. Asmir Begovic on QPR on a free. And Armando Broja from Everton on loan.
Oh, they've re-signed Begovic, have they?
Well, that's what it's saying here, yeah. From QPR on a free, it's saying. Yeah. Yeah.
So he left Everton because he was sick of being second fiddle to Jordan Pickford, and now he's come back to do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you make of this one, Manny?
Well, you take a look at the way Everton have started the season, and you just think, I mentioned Irugbinam. He was one of those players that was let go by Aston Villa, and it does look as though, Emery made a pretty decent decision with doing that because clearly Irugbinam was trying his best, but he wanted to sort of have an upgrade on him. And I'm not too sure that when you take a look at the way they've started, I mean, they've looked absolutely dire this season, I'm afraid, mate. And what was it? A 3-0 home loss to Brighton, a 4-0 away loss to Spurs, and now 3-2 at home to Bournemouth, a loss, 10 goals in 3 games. Maybe Begovic could find himself competing with Pickford again if Pickford has a poor start to this season. We'll have to see. But, let's take a look at the outgoings, though. Who have they let go?
Yeah, it's quite a few though. A Holgate, obviously West Brom loan.
Yeah,
Dobbin,
they let
Onana.
Dobbin and Onana go to Aston Villa, Holgate to West Brom, Andy Lonergan. I'm surprised that bloke's still playing. He's gone to Wigan. Andre Gomez released. Who else? Dele Alli also released.
Yeah.
Neil Mopay, your former boy.
Yeah. Gone to Marseille. Yeah, don't know that many of these others, but
I suppose I'll be willing to give this maybe a 3.5. But if Everton have a poor season, then some of these players, if they have a poor season, I don't know if it's going to work well for them. We'll see.
Do you think there's a real chance they could go down this season, Everton?
It looks that way if they don't get their act together. But they had a poor start last season and they still recovered. And obviously obviously that whole issue with the what was that? The PSR and the points deduction didn't really help them. But this season again, it's like you can cheat death. You can only cheat death too many times before eventually, you end up being cheated yourself.
You run out of luck eventually, yeah.
Absolutely. Even cats have no more than 9 lives, you see.
I mean, the thing is, Manny, right? I kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna go down." I keep saying they're gonna go down every season. I said that, and they've stayed up. So I kind of think, well, no, surely this time they got to be in it this time down there, and I think they will be. And I'm only gonna give them about probably a 2 this transfer window. And I'm going to say they'll probably be in the bottom 3.
We'll see what happens. I mean, Dyche definitely has his work cut out, that's for sure.
He'll be dicing with death again, I think. But so what about you, Kyle? What are you going to say for this one?
Okay, for me, for this window, I'll give them a 2. And then for the Premier League, I'll say they'll finish number 16. The thing about Daesh is he's a fighter. He has experience from playing in Burnley, so fighting to survive the relegation. And also, and if last season he survived it with Everton, he can do it again this season. Yeah. I'll not be like Arnie and predict number 10.
No. I think Arnie was on something then, predicting that. But no way are they going to get 10. No. I thought he was taking the P with that. I thought he was just, joking with that. But I think he did, he meant that 10. So, but anyway, we move on to the next ones. And the next one is Fulham, who you already said about, Kyle, you think they'd probably finish above us. They got in Ryan Sessegnon, Spurs 3, ESR from Arsenal, big one, 34 million. George Kiencha from Villarreal, undisclosed. Sander Berg from Burnley, 25 million. Joachim Andersen, another big signing. Good signing. Crystal Palace, 30 million. And Reece Nelson, Arsenal on loan. What do you make of this one, Carl?
Mm, wait 1 second. I'll say for Fulham, they have made good signings like Anderson. The Ederson from Crystal Palace, that a good centre back
Yeah,
signing.
it is. Yeah.
Then Emily is a good left wing signing.
Mm.
Then I'm not so sure about Sesegon from Tottenham. Issues about
Sessignon.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sessignon. Yeah.
I'm also not sure about Nelson. But I know Beje is a good signing from Burnley. So I'll say I'll give them a 3 out of 5 because
Mm.
the outgoings have they'll definitely miss the outgoings with Palmina leaving. Yeah,
Yeah,
so 3 out of 5.
definitely. Yeah. He
And
could
we're
overread as well. He was a good player. He could overread, so he's
yeah
gone as well. Tyson as well. Really good players that have gone. So, and you thought you said they'd be 12, didn't you? Say
yeah
might be 12.
yeah they'll finish 12th this season
Mm.
above Brentford.
Yeah, right. Well, about you then, Manny? What are you going to
I
say
get.
for Fulham?
I'll give their window a solid 4.5 out of 5. And
Mm.
yeah, first of all, a huge update from the Paralympics. Congratulations to powerlifter Mark Shaw, powerlifter who's just secured silver.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
yep,
Yeah.
he finishes on 213 kilograms, with Zhou Yi of China securing the gold medal with 215. But 213 would have been enough because he lifted that weight
Mm.
first. But after Lottie McGuinness failed to secure bronze, this is a magnificent medal for
Yeah.
the British powerlifting contingent,
That is
especially
brilliant.
after seeing Zoe Newson claim silver and Olivia Broom get bronze early on in the day. And of course, we've got the likes of Liam McGarry to come later on in the week. So, yeah,
Mm.
this if you ever get to see powerlifting at the Paralympics, I recommend you must. It is an absolutely brilliant sport, one of my favorites, easily, probably my favorite, in fact. And as far as the transfer window, I think gave my verdict. They deserve a solid 4.5 because Kyle made a good point mentioning the outgoings, and obviously, the likes of Palhinha and De Cordova-Reid are going to be
Yeah.
very big
Yeah.
misses indeed. But the incomings have certainly done a pretty good job for them, and they've had a very solid beginning to the season. Well, apparently, well, it looks as though our boy Swan is now going to go for a power lift record attempt at 221 kilograms. I really don't know if he's going to get it, and even if he does, I don't think it'll change the medal placings, or does it? We'll have to see. But anyway, back to Fulham.
Mm.
I think they and when it comes to where they'll finish, they should be able to finish in the top half of the table, but again, they'll just miss out on qualifying for Europe. But you have to give credit to Marco Silva for doing a really good job with the resources he's got at his disposal. And also, I think after failures with Everton and Watford, I think the third time's the charm with Fulham. But some of the outgoings also include Marek Rodak, who's gone to Saudi. So
Yeah.
obviously, I think they've had to get a new reserve goalkeeper. I don't know who that is. But they certainly do look good. They will miss Willian as well. Willian was, a man rejuvenated at Fulham after a dreadful
Mm.
stint at Arsenal and the problems he had with in Brazil. But we'll have to see how Fulham do. But they've had a very good transfer window. 4.5 out of 5.
And where do you think they'll finish?
As I said, top half of the table, but outside the European places. And Shaw fails in his attempt at 221, but that doesn't matter. He's got the silver already.
Yeah, anyway, I pretty much agree. And Ipswich, of course, as we know, had a tough start. They've actually got a point, though, secured a point at last after the weekend. Yeah, in Dara O'Shea. And that's who we were going to get, Dara O'Shea, at the Bees. So another one we lost out to Ipswich. Went there 15 million. So how come we didn't do that? We didn't get him. All that we were after him. We kept, all these bids we were making, talking with him, and Ipswich get him. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Liam Delap, Man City, 20 million. He's done well. Great start. Obviously, the son of Rory, of course. Done really well. Murray Hutchinson, Chelsea, 18 million. Jacob Greaves, Hull, 15 million. Dara McCann, Glentoran, undisclosed. Aryanet Muric, Manny, you quite like, I believe. Burnley, 15 million. Leon Elliott from Crystal Palace on the 3. Ben Johnson, West Ham, 3. Connor Townsend, West Brom, 500k. Sammy Schmodix, yeah. Another one the Bees wanted, I believe. We wanted him. But anyway, he's gone there from Blackburn, 10 million. Calvin Phillips, Man City on the loan. Jens Guster, another one linked with the Bees. And had a medical and for some reason didn't come to us. They've gone to Ipswich on loan. Jack Clark, another one I believe we were interested in. Sunderland, 18 million. Chidozie Ogbeni, Luton, 8 million. So, apart from them nicking the players we've been after, and I've got no ill feelings, by the way. Well, not much. But what do you make of them, Carl? Ipswich.
I feel it's unfair for me to give them a rating because I don't know any of the signings they've made personally, and also that's why.
Well, they made a hell of a lot of signings. Let's be honest. So
Yeah,
they've done
so
really
I don't
well
know the players,
getting
so
all
I
these
feel like
players
it would be unfair for me to give a rating.
Right. Well, what about you then, Manny?
Now, I also declined to mention that Ipswich were in the race to try and get Reece Nelson, but then Fulham ended up getting him instead, and that's another reason why I do rate Fulham's window quite highly. Nelson could possibly end up having some impact at Fulham, and it will be interesting to see how well Marco Silva uses him. And so obviously both lifters failing with their power lift, so it is a goal to China and a superb silver for Great Britain. And Great Britain also beat Germany in the semi-finals of the wheelchair basketball, so we're into the gold medal match.
Yeah, great stuff. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
So what do you make? Do you think this is all going to be enough to save Ipswich and get out the relegation zone, not go back down? Manny?
Probably not, but they have done some good business, and certainly Liam Delap looks some quality. Amari Hutchinson will be one player on whom they will depend. I see them. I don't know if they'll survive, but football being a funny old game, they could surprise a few of us, and certainly the way they played against Fulham, there is some reason for optimism. But you wonder if they're going to be able to continue to produce these moments very frequently, or as with Luton last season, will they just be mere flashes in the pan?
Yeah. Sonny Aluko, another ex-Arsenal. Manny, he's retired there.
Who?
Sonny Aluko, wasn't he ex-Arsenal?
I think you might be thinking of Eni Aluko, the former women's player, but
the brother that played.
Yeah, I can't say I remember him though.
Okay, but yeah, well, so what mark did you give these? Would you say 3, 4?
3.5, a solid 3.5.
Do you think? Obviously, you think they'll be in the relegation zone, though? You would say.
Yes, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just won't have enough. That as many as the good signings they've done, and I think you would feel that they've got all these players in. It's almost, could it be like another Forest that have all these players and don't gel? Buy all these players and still struggle. because I think you've got some really good Sammy Schmodics. I think a lot of teams are after him, especially the Bees. He's got loads of goals in the Championship. Obviously, as I say, Dara O'Shea, we were after him for a long time, and yet he's gone there. There's so many that we were linked with, and they've gone for, which in a way I hope they go down, because I think if they're going to nick our players that we're after, I want them to go down. But, no, I think I said all the three that went up would go back down. So in that case, really, I said Everton will be in the relegation, and I don't think they will be then, because I'm going to say they're all going down. Ipswich, Leicester, and who were the other team? Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton. Yeah, I think we'll all probably go back down. So in that case, I'm saying Everton are staying up. But anyway, Leicester, Abdel Fattari, they brought in 17 million. Odson Edward, Crystal Palace loan, Michael Golding from Chelsea, undisclosed. Caleb Akoli from Atalanta, undisclosed. Bobby Decordova-Reid, Fulham 3. Facundo Buonanotte from Brighton on loan. Oliver Skip from Spurs, 25 million. Jordan Ayew, Crystal Palace 7.5, and Odson Edward. Again, he's gone there twice. No. So what do you make of them then, Kyle, Leicester?
Okay, I feel like Leicester has made good signing, like Fatiwa from Sporting. Also, Edward on loan, that's a good loan deal. Yeah. Then, I feel like the outings, there's noticeable outings like Barry Hall. I feel like Leicester will miss him, especially also Max. Yeah. So I'll say Leicester, I'll give them a solid 2 out of 5 here.
2 out of 5, right.
And where I think they'll finish in the table, I'll say number 18th.
So you're saying they're going back down, right?
Yeah, and for Ipswich, I'll say they're finishing number 20.
Yeah. I pretty much agree with all that. What about you, Manny?
Leicester, they could be one of those teams that potentially could just stay up at the expense of either Everton or, maybe even Wolverhampton. Maybe one of those teams will find a way. But I really don't rate Steve Cooper as a manager, and he has to get to learn to get the best out of his players. And another huge update from the pool: Becky Redfern winning gold for Team GB in the 100-meter breaststroke, SB13.
Brilliant, yeah, brilliant.
Also silver for Sammy Kinghorn in the women's 400 meters on the track. Yeah. That's T53.
Yeah, all good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I don't know where are they in the medal table? Do you know, Manny?
Second behind China.
Right. Yeah, going brilliant. The old Chinese as usual out there. Yeah. So, what do you make of this though, Manny? With Leicester, you said, what did you say the rating you gave for this?
I didn't give them a rating for the window, but obviously, they've done some excellent business from the looks of it. Buonanotte looks a good player, scored against Villa. Edward, Jordan Ayew, the two Crystal Palace boys, of course, they left to join Leicester. So, Decordova-Reid. So, quality players they've signed there. Obviously, some players like Kelechi have left the club, and, Dewsbury Hall has gone. Albrighton has also left. I think he's retired, actually. Albrighton. Dennis Praet has also gone. I don't want to pronounce it another way. Yeah. Harry Suter, the Australian international defender, has joined Sheffield United.
Yeah, but Chris pop off, on Barrow on loan. Yeah.
Yeah, he has popped off, obviously. But, they've had a very good transfer window too. I'd rate it a solid 4. But if they don't do well this season, it'll be thanks to Steve Cooper.
Strange choice as a manager for me as well. They brought him in, but there we go. I would pretty much agree with all that again. So Liverpool, well, 2 signings. Georgi Mamadashvili, I hope I've said that right.
Yep, Mamadashvili.
Valencia, 29 million, joins in the next year again, summer of 2025. Federico Chiesa, what a signing that is, though. 12.5 million, Juventus. So only 2 signings, lads, but, great signing from that Chiesa one. What a signing. So do you want to go, Kyle, or Manny? Who wants to go here? Manny?
I think I'll go first, Steve. And I want to say one great signing does not make a great transfer window if you can't do too much more business. But, I mean, obviously the players they've let go were Ben Doak, Stefan Bajcetic, Adrian, obviously he was never going to get any involvement. Zach Jagielka, related to Phil, I think. Matip is one we have seen, a name we've seen many times. Alcantara has retired. Fabio Carvalho and Denberg have joined your lot. Vandenberg. And Bobby Clark, of course. So a lot of these players who have left are, fringe players who weren't really going to get too much in terms of action. They maintained the same squad. Now, that can either prove to be an absolute masterstroke or it can be very risky. And we'll see how they do in January. And to sign a goalkeeper in the summer of 2025, maybe in anticipation of Alisson leaving, I don't know. Very risky indeed. So you're stuck with Alisson and Caoimhin Kelleher. Kelleher should, of course, be starting for Ireland against England this weekend, I think. And that will be very interesting to see how well the Corkman does. But... I can't rate this window any higher than a 2.5, really. Chiesa's the one who saved the window. But it's an efficient window in terms of getting rid of players who aren't really a part of your plans. But in terms of strengthening the squad, I don't see much being done there.
No, but they're still going to finish high, aren't they? You would say Liverpool?
They will, but that's because, if I say that Leicester could end up doing badly because of Steve Cooper, Liverpool could do well because of Arne Slot. And you can see that, under Slot now, Mo Salah looks rejuvenated, and even Darwin Núñez is eager to start pulling his weight a little bit more. Defensively, it will remain to be seen how well they do, and this is where they probably would have needed a few reinforcements. There were many doubts about Virgil van Dijk last season. Ibrahima Konate also lost quite a bit of his zip. Jarell Quansah showed promise but was very, very inconsistent. And I'm surprised that Joe Gomez hasn't been allowed to leave because, maybe Slot sees him as a perfect replacement or cover for TAA at right back. Personally, I think Gomez should start at right back because defensively he's so much better. And as far as Andrew Robertson is concerned, is he starting to feel the effects of, playing regularly for both Liverpool and Scotland? I don't know. So we'll have to see. They could make some defensive signings in January, but this really was the time when they should have made a signing. I think Chiesa would have really loved Calafiori to join them at Liverpool instead of coming to us. So that can only give this window a 2.5.
Yeah. So where do you think they'll finish then, Manny?
But they will still finish second. And listen, let's not forget that just because they didn't do well in the transfer window this time doesn't mean they won't do well in January. And I think we're starting to do some really good work with the players. And let's not forget, they haven't
conceded yet. They've not conceded a goal.
So 3 clean sheets for Alisson, and he takes the lead in the Golden race.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't see him keeping that up the whole season, surely, can you? This form.
We'll have to see. We never know.
How about you, Carl?
For Liverpool, I'll give them a 2 out of 5.
Yeah,
I feel like for Chiesa, it's a good signing, and also for the Georgian goalkeeper. That's a good signing. He'll be a good replacement for Alisson in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the clear out, I'll say they've not really cleared out any important players. They've only cleared out players that probably won't get game time in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give them a 2 out of 5, and where they'll finish, I feel like they'll finish behind. They'll finish second. Yeah,
Mm.
and
Probably
Arsenal
behind this
are
team. Behind this team. City.
who?
Behind City.
Yeah, they'll finish behind City, and I feel like
Mm.
Arsenal could finish number 4th.
Ah. Right.
Yeah,
So yeah. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on. I think must be the last ones. Yeah, City. In Savio from Troyes. They haven't made a lot of deals yet. Well, not any in. They didn't get many in from Troyes. Savio from Troyes. 33.6 million. And of course, Ilkay Gundogan has come back from Barcelona on a free.
I
And a
think
lot of players out. Alvarez, Delap, of course, Doyle, Harwood Bellis, loads. Calvin Phillips, yeah. Cancelo. Oh no, of course it's Man United. I forgot Man United, Carl. But yeah, of course. Well, so what do you make of these, then, Carl? What do you make of this, the City?
I feel like this summer was impacted by the potential case of FFP charges. I feel like that's why
Mm,
they didn't make any significant signings, because they don't know what will happen in the verdict in next summer, because
yeah,
they
we'll only
could be
get a
given a
fine. Won't
transfer ban.
they? They won't get down. They won't be deducted points, will they? Never.
No,
Never
I
happen.
don't think. No, but the punishments range from points deduction to transfer bans to forcing
Yeah.
play to slipping of their trophies, so they don't know what will happen. So that's why they are being careful this summer. I feel the Gundogan is a good return for City. He needed that midfield, especially
Mm,
how I don't feel like Nunes was playing that well. So Gundogan is a good signing. Savio, he reminds me of Mares somehow. Yeah.
all right.
So for City, I'll give them a 3 out of 5. Alvarez is uh, Alvarez is a good sell.
Yeah. 82
Yeah,
million.
because
Look,
if you're being
money.
honest, Alvarez will not have stepped out of the shadow of Haaland.
Mm,
But if you look at how they're now at City, I don't think they have a good backup to Haaland, just in case Haaland gets injured. So you
yeah.
can also look at it as a good sell or a bad sell as well. And then Sergio Gomez, that's a good sell as well. I don't think
Mm,
he'll get any game time in the future. Yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
I rate it 3 out of 5. And as we know, so City
Yeah.
will always win the league. So
Yeah.
City number 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Pep leaves next summer, that's when City can stop winning the league.
Yeah. I agree, mate. I agree. Pretty much they're going to win this again. I think the Premier. How about you, Manny?
Can't look beyond them winning the Premiership, but to only get one
Mm,
new player and bring back someone whose days we thought were long gone.
mm,
2 out of 5. Yes, they had to get rid of, trim a lot of fat, get rid of players. And as Kyle
yeah.
said, obviously the whole ruling on their charges will certainly have impacted them. I'm surprised they've chosen to take it seriously now rather than
Mm,
in seasons gone by. But, it just goes to show the threat of, being severely punished can make even the biggest teams start to be a little bit more prudent.
yeah. So obviously we're saying they're going to win it again anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And you know
They're
what?
going to win it.
The fact that Scott Carson is still at the club is an absolute disgrace, really.
Yeah. True. But
Stealing
for
a
all that,
living.
they're definitely going to win it again, aren't they, Manny? this Premier,
Yeah, foregone conclusion, really.
unfortunately. But there we go. It's going to happen. Yeah. So, and we move on to Kyle's team, Man United, and I'll just go talk about the players you got in. Lenny Yoro from Lille, 58.9 million. Joshua Xerxes from Bologna, 36.5. Matthias de Ligt from Bayern Munich, 42.7. Nusia Mazwari from Bayern Munich, 17.1. Manuel Ugarte, is that right? How I said that? Yeah. Paris
Yeah.
Saint-Germain, 50.5. And Sekou Kone from Guiders or Graders FC, undisclosed. So take it away, Kyle.
Yeah, I feel like for United, it can give it a 5 out of 5 because we strengthened at positions where we needed to strengthen. We needed a center midfielder. We got
Yeah.
it in Ugarte. And also we needed to strengthen the center back position with Viran leaving. We replaced it with Delete. Also needed to replace the broken legs of Marshall with Zaxi. So that's a good signing. Then Yolo is a good steal from City, especially considering no, it's a good steal from Real Madrid considering Madrid was targeting him. Yeah, so I'll say it's a good transfer window. I felt like we still needed another midfielder. Yeah, and we also needed a replacement. We needed a backup signing for like a backup attacking midfielder. I'm not really convinced of Mount yet. Yeah, and we needed a right wing signing and a left back because if you look at it, Shaw is injury prone. Marcella, I don't know what is happening with him. There's no update with him about him. Yeah, and also if you look at departures, Sancho needed to leave. His attitude problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
could you slow that down? I see also the other ones. Out. You slowed down. I see.
Yeah. Although you've had a bad start to the season, though, let's be honest, it's not been the greatest, is it? You got one win, and then the
Yeah.
rest have been defeats.
No, I also want to see the other departures for Man United.
Oh, sorry, yeah, hold on, mate. Right. So yeah,
Yeah,
Fernandez, Greenwood, of course, gone to Marseille.
for
Van der
Greenwood,
Beek,
that's a good deal considering they sell on close. Also,
Willie
Kambala,
Cannavaro,
that's a good
Palace.
deal. I feel like most of these youngsters,
Martial's a good one, isn't it? Getting rid of him at last.
yeah, I feel like most of these youngsters,
Varane,
they were sold with good sell-on clauses and buyback clauses. Yeah, so could say it's a 5 out of 5. Under Unions,
Wan-Bissaka.
we ran like a proper football club. Even though I'm sad to see Scott McTominay leave and
Yeah,
also
I was
around
going
Wan
to say.
Bissaka. Yeah.
Do you think that was? Are you happy with that or not? Him going? You're not happy with him leaving, McTominay?
I feel like for Scott McTominay, I would have sold him for 40 million, to be honest.
Mm,
For one Bissaka, West Ham stole him. I
yeah.
feel like I would have sold him for 30 M. Then for somebody like who else? For Sancho, I'll have sold him for like 40 to 50 M. That's my value for him. For Donny van der
Mm,
Beek, I'll have sold him for 15 M. Yes. So I feel like I'll say our sales values are low, but makes
yeah.
sense because you know, in for United in the transfer market, there's United tax and there's also United discounts on our players.
But you're certainly happy with the players you got in, aren't you? There.
Yeah, I am happy. Yeah, even though the late is like injury. My worry about him is his injury, his history. Yeah. Then Zaxi, I'll have wanted a more established striker because having two young strikers
Mm,
like Zaxi, Hosland, I feel like an experienced striker will help another experience like I will help mentor these guys and ease the pressure of them. Because now United fans will expect goals coming from two young players, and that's not fair for on their careers.
Mm. So anyway, where do you think they're going to finish, United then?
I feel like with injuries and how Eric Ten Hag is playing, I'll say number 7.
Hmm. How about you then, Manny?
I think they could also struggle to finish in the European places this season. I think last season they probably overachieved in some respects with, the FA Cup win, and Kyle will agree that that season the league and the Champions League was
Yeah.
absolutely diabolical. I think that transfer window deserves a solid 3, and I can't say that they deserve anything more than a 3, but it will be very interesting to see how well the new signings gel. And obviously, we haven't seen anywhere near enough of Euro or Ugarte to make a judgment. Xerxes looks good, but still maybe in the midfield they lack a little bit of quality, and it could very well be time for Casemiro to say goodbye to Manchester United.
Yeah, he had a poor game that last one, didn't he? So really bad. But yeah, I'd say they'd be top 10, but not probably at least 7th, as Carl says, something like that. 7th or 8th, maybe. Not going to be in the top 5, that's for sure. Anyway, let's move on to Newcastle. And
I feel like could I also add something for United? Even though we'll finish at number 7, I feel like we'll still play Champions League football if we win Europa League.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's why I give them number 7 because I feel like we'll focus more on Europa League.
Yeah. Well, you should have. You got a chance of winning that, haven't you? So, yeah, why not? Yeah, but anyway, moving on to Newcastle. Lewis Hall, or Chelsea, 28 million. Miodrag Pivas for FK Jedinstovo, or whatever. UB undisclosed. Odysseus Vlachodimos from Nottingham Forest, undisclosed. Lloyd Kelly, of course, Manny, Bournemouth on a free.
Yep.
John Ruddy, Birmingham free, and William Osula from Sheffield United, 15 million. So what do you make of this one, Manny?
Ooh, looks to be a pretty decent window from the looks of it. And Ruddy, obviously, I mean, how many goalkeepers have they got over there? I mean, they've got Pope, they've got Dubravka, now Ruddy, and some other bloke, I think, is also down there.
Ruddy Hell. Yeah, what they do.
Yeah, Vlachodimos, Nottingham Forest. They've signed him too.
Yeah.
That's four 3 of them are internationals. The other one, Ruddy, I think, did have a game for England, but that's just it.
Yeah.
And Osula from Sheffield United. I would rate Lloyd Kelly as a good buy, and they've got rid of certain players. I think they'll regret getting rid of Minte. And Elliot Anderson obviously going to Nottingham Forest. Ryan Fraser to Southampton. And scroll down a bit, please, mate. A few others. Amadou Diallo also released. Paul Dummett also gone. Jeff Hendrick, the Irish international, also gone. Loris Karius gone. Matt Ritchie gone to Portsmouth, which is nice for him. I'd rate I can't rate their window any higher than a 2.5. I mean, who buys 2 extra goalkeepers to go with the 2 you already have at the club?
They must think they'd be in trouble at the back, I suppose, or something. Yeah. But yeah, they haven't done too badly. I don't think they've been beaten yet. They Newcastle. I think they've had. Is it a win and 2 draws? Is it? I think it's a win and 2 draws they've had, haven't they? Newcastle.
Yeah, they beat Southampton, and obviously, who else did they play as well? My memory fails me.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know that last one they was Bournemouth as well, wasn't it? Bournemouth.
Yeah, they drew against Bournemouth. They drew against Bournemouth, and yeah, They also should finish in the top half of the table, but I don't know if they'll get any European football as well.
No,
And,
no.
I can't rate their transfer window any higher than a 2.5.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Carl?
If I was going to rate the transfer window, I'll say 1.5 out of
Hmm?
5. Yeah,
Well,
because if you look
that
at
line.
Newcastle,
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at Newcastle, they needed like to buy more established like defenders, like on the centre back.
Yeah.
I don't really rate Kelly. Also, I feel like they didn't need a goalkeeper. Also, them
No.
selling Elliot Ederson, they didn't need to sell him. Yeah, so 1.5 out of 5. I feel like they had a bad transfer window, but
Mm.
where I feel they'll finish number 6 because they have less games now this season,
Yeah.
and hopefully with less injuries this time, they can go back
Mm.
into Europe and qualify for Europa League.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I don't think they're going to get any higher than probably 6 or something. They ain't going to get top 4, I don't think. Yeah, so we move on to Forest and in Elliot Anderson, Newcastle, of course, 35. James Ward-Prowse, well, great signing, I think that could be. Morato from Benfica, 15 million. Eric De Silva Moreiro, St. Pauli, 1.3 million. Nikola Milinkovic from Fiorentina, 12 million. Carlos Miguel from Corinthians, undisclosed. Marco Stamanic from Red Star Belgrade, undisclosed. Shea Cahill, Brisbane Roar, 3. Jota Silva, Vitoria Guimaraes, 10.1. Ramon Sosa, Teleris de Cordoba, yeah. Undisclosed. Alex Moreno from Aston Villa loan. And David Carmo from Porto, undisclosed. Well, what do you make of them, Manny?
So many players signed, a few of them many of them unknown. I do recognise a few names. Obviously, Alex Moreno from Aston Villa. I think he's gone over there because with Digne and Matson ahead of him in the pecking order, and he hasn't been the same since that unfortunate hamstring injury. And I think a loan move will benefit him. James Ward-Prowse, obviously from West Ham, was a bit of a shock at first. Milenkovic is someone I do rate highly. But again, as you've said at the top of the show, Steve, they buy so many players and they just don't seem to be able to get them to gel as a unit. And who have they let go? Let's see who they let go.
Quite a few. Yeah, Matt Turner, as you know, yeah.
Yep, Crystal Palace have got him. Oral Mangala, Odysseus Vlachodimos, Harry Arter, the former Ireland international. Wayne Hennessy has also been released. I don't I don't know what's going to happen to him. Will he retire from football altogether? I don't know. Scott McKenna also gone. One of the old guard, Lewis O'Brien, Omar Richards, Joe Worrell.
Yeah, let a few go, aren't they?
Plenty go.
Yeah.
But then it's like you let so many go and you bring so many in. I mean, it's like a revolving door. And their transfer window probably would get a 3, but I really don't see them doing anything this season, I'm afraid.
No. Do you think they're in trouble, could be in danger of being relegated, Manny, or not? You think they could be down there?
They'll be in danger, but they won't get relegated. But they're certainly not going to, set the league alight with some really good play, especially under Nuno Espirito Santo.
Right. I think they will survive. I don't think they're going to go down. I would say, getting a lot of those players, but certainly Ward-Prowse, that's going to make a difference. So I'm going to say something like a 3. Give that a 3. How about you, Kyle? Kyle, is he there?
I'll give it like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
2. Where do you think they'll finish, Boris?
For Nottingham, I'll say they'll finish number 14th.
14th, yeah. So you think they'll be safe? Well safe, yeah. Right, and Southampton. Well, they got to be. Is this the last one, or is there another one? How many more?
There are plenty more, I think.
Also Spurs,
Spurs,
yeah.
West Ham, Wolverhampton.
West Ham. Shit. Oh, there's loads, isn't there? Yeah, I think we'll have to get through these fairly quickly, lads. I think. Right. So what's the Southampton? We quit. Mr. Ramsdale from Arsenal, 25 million. Maxwell Cornet, Ryan Fraser, Flynn Downs, Ronnie Edwards, Taylor Hutt. Look at all these they've signed. Harwood Bellis, Sugawara, Brereton Diaz, Lalana, Brooke Myers, Charlie Taylor, Wellington from Sao Paulo, one from Sao Paulo. Cameron Archer, a pretty good one from Villa, 15 million. Leslie Ukachukwu from Chelsea on loan. Mateus Hernandez. Well, it's a hell of a lot of signings. Will it do them any good, though? Carl,
Yeah.
do you think they stay up, Southampton? No.
No, I
Surely.
don't think so.
What do you make of their signings, though? What would you give their window?
I'll say the only good signings here are Brereton Diaz
Yeah, yeah.
and Sugarewara and Talia.
Mm.
The rest I'll say, yeah, so I'll give it like a 2 out of 5.
Right,
And I'll say they'll finish number 19th.
19. Cool. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. They'd go down as well. I'm pretty much agreeing with all that. What about you, Manny?
Yeah, they're going down, and they've signed a lot of players. I could give them, potentially, say a 3.5, but I really don't think they will last. And they've let quite a few decent players go. Stuart Armstrong, Kaleta, the Croatian. Shea Adams has gone to Torino.
Yeah, quite a few there. They let go. And of course, Spuds. We move on to Spuds. Lucas Bergvall on Diargiden, wherever that is, 8.5. George Feeney.
It's Djurgården, and it's a Swedish club.
Djurgården. Sorry, mate. Yeah. George Feeney, Glentoran undisclosed. Archie Gray. Another one linked with the Bees we didn't get. You've gone to Spuds. Leeds undisclosed. Timo Werner, RP Leipzig, loan. Min Hyuk Yang, Gang 1 FC, undisclosed. Dominic Solanke, Manny, Bournemouth, 65 million. And Wilson Odeberg, Burnley, undisclosed. What do you make of that, Manny?
I'd say a solid 3. Solanke would have been, there is obviously their marquee signing, but he's now injured. Don't know much about Odeberg. Timo Werner obviously has secured a little bit longer time. Archie Gray could be quite good. They've let go a lot of people. Emerson Royale, Eric Dyer, Joe Roden, Ivan Perisic, Ndombele, Sessignon, Højbjerg, Hill, and Skip, Ashley Phillips. I'll give them a solid 3. And, they should be competing for the top finish of the season. I actually have them finishing 5th.
Pretty much agree, mate. Pretty much agree. How about you, Carl?
Yeah, I'll say for Tottenham, they've made good signings. Solanke will be a good signing, but is he really a striker that Tottenham needs to replace Harry Kane? I don't think so. Then Warner is a good signing, but I don't think it's a signing they need to replace Harry Kane. And also, there's that South Korean guy that they signed. Min Hang. Yeah, that's South Korean guy. I heard that he could be the next Son.
Oh, right.
So maybe So maybe they're signing him to replace Son in the future, which is good. Yeah. And then Archie Gray is a good signing for the future. So in terms of that, I'll give them a 3 out of 5. Also selling key players like Amazon, Eric Dyer, and also Solomon. Yeah, so 3 out of 5. And where I think Tottenham will finish, I'll say number 3.
Well, yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I think maybe fourth, fourth, fifth. I don't know, something like that. How about West Ham then? So in you got Luis Guilherme from Palmeiras on 25 million. Max Kilman's a very good player. I rate Wolves 40 million. Res Foderingham, Sheffield United 3. Carlos Soler, Paris Saint-Germain on loan. Crescencio Somerville, very good player again. Leeds, undisclosed. Nicholas Fulkrug from Borussia Dortmund, 27.5. Guido Rodriguez, Real Betis 3. John Claire Todibo from Nice on loan. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, of course, Man United, Carl, 15 million. Mohamedou Kante, Paris FC, undisclosed, and Carlos Soler. I think it's already mentioned, but anyway. So what do you make of this one, Carl?
I'll say West Ham has had a good transfer window.
Brilliant, yeah.
Yeah. Signing Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a good signing for the right back. I'll have wanted to sign Todibo, but due to UEFA rules, it didn't allow that. But I'm surprised how Ineos could allow to sell the Todibo to a potential rival in the future, West Ham. Yeah, so I'll say that's a bad signing that's a bad sell for the Man United owners. I'm surprised. Please slow up, yeah. And then what other signings? Soria will be a good midfielder signing. Kilman is centre back. It will be a good backup. So I'll say a solid 4 out of 5. Yeah, they made good signings that could strengthen that squad depth and also strengthen the starting 11.
Yeah, where do you
And
think they finished?
where I think West Ham could finish in Atlanta in the Premier League, I'll say number 8.
Yeah. Could possibly be higher for me. I actually think I'll give that a 5 because they made some really good signings, especially Somerville, Gilman, full crew, Todibo, Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, but remember, West Ham has not had the latest starts to the Premier League in this season. Yeah, so
they've let some good ones go. Of course, Ward Prowse as well, Ben Rama, of course, ex Bees, of course. Quite a few others. Ben Johnson, Mubama has gone on Bonner, of course. Yeah, let a lot go. Can't say. How about you, Manny? What do you think of this one?
Definitely a 4 for the transfer window, but it will remain to be seen how high they finish, especially since, as Carl said, they haven't had the best of starts of the season. They do look a good team when they can gel together, but maybe defensively they're not quite as strong. And look, they've got full crew: Guido Rodriguez, Wan-Bissaka, Max Kilman, Carlos Soler. Quality signings, and it'll remain to be seen how well they do. They should finish high in the table, but whether or not they'll get European football will remain to be seen. Don't be surprised, though, if they have a good cup run this season.
Definitely. Yeah, that's quite a squad they got now, a team. So, yeah, and we move on to Wolves. I think this must be nearly it. Right, in Tommy Doyle, Man City, 4.3 million. Carlos Forbes, Ajax loan. Andre Fluminense, undisclosed. Rodrigo Gomez, Braha, 12.7. Pedro Lima, Sport Recife, 8.45. Arthur Nasta, Larkhall Athletic, undisclosed. Jorgen Strand Larsen, Celta Vigo on loan. Sam Johnston, of course, Crystal Palace, 10 million. Ethan Sutherland, St Mirren, undisclosed. What do you make of this one, Manny? It's the last one.
Decent window, I think. I can really they made some good signings. Strand Larsen might look good. Johnson also should be a good quality keeper. Tommy Doyle might be useful. But I just worry about Wolves with the start that they've made and everything. And letting go Kilman and Neto could really come back to bite them where the sun doesn't shine. I suppose I'd give the window a 3, but I really worry about them. And several players, of course, Hugo Bueno, Kiana Hoiver, they were there for quite some time and now they're not. So, yeah, I worry about Wolves, but they've had a decent window. Not very good, but not bad either.
You think they'll be safe, though, in the Premier?
Remains to be seen. Maybe, after a dreadful start, they'll find their way.
Yeah.
How about you, Carl?
I'll say signing to Tommy Dolly is a good signing for the future. I feel like Wolves has been more of a declining on a declining state ever since Ruben Neves has left the club. So I'll say this transfer window will give it like a 2 out of 5, and where I think they could finish number 15th in the transfer in the Premier League.
Right. So we come to the end, and I pretty much agree with that one as well. So, so who do you think's pretty much the standout out of all them? Would you say that had the best windows?
Fulham and West Ham for me.
Are you, Carl?
For me, I'll say West Ham. Yeah.
Pretty much agree. I think we've had a good window as well. Sorry, I know I sound biased, but I think we have had a really good window. So, yeah, and we'll move on, lads, and get on with this because this is the last subject, of course, before we go. It's gone on longer than I thought it was going to, this stream. But anyway, again, the refs and VAR had a mixed bag over the weekend. Time to look at more controversial decisions and figure out if they were the correct decisions or not. And we're obviously going to, this is what Dermot Gallagher was saying on Sky Sports. So we'll see if we agree with him or not. Obviously, the Declan Rice one, Manny. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, to all of those Arsenal fans who now see it fit to say that Chris Kavanagh is a horrible referee and there should be a petition to not have him referee Arsenal games in the future, wind your necks in. Obviously, when I think the issue that a lot of people had was that, the ball was still supposedly moving.
Yeah.
And so, the free kick shouldn't have, there shouldn't have been a problem. The problem is when Rice poked it away, it was at rest. And so Veltman wanted to take the kick. So Rice had no business, being in Veltman's way. He was supposed to have, moved away. And it is going to be obviously, it doesn't look at all good. The way Veltman, was that his name? I think it was Veltman. Yeah.
Veltman,
the way he literally got, just kicked. He kicked Declan Rice like that, but Declan Rice had no business being there, and he, I think it's fair to say that the yellow card was well deserved. Was a little bit harsh, yes, but someone like Rice really should know a lot better. And to think that we have a lot of half-baked Arsenal fans demanding that he be captain of England, wind your necks in, you absolute so-and-sos.
Yeah.
So he got that right. And I think there's also an issue that a lot of people were having in that João Pedro should also have been booked for kicking the ball after it had gone out of play.
Yeah.
I think, the momentum sort of took him forward. Maybe he should have been given a good booking, but maybe, the referee also thought that it was the momentum that that prevented him from stopping in a way. But I really don't know though if that could have escaped a booking. I think he should have been booked there. So maybe there is a complaint for consistency. But you can only control what you can control, and Rice has himself to blame. He was an absolute pork chop that day.
Yeah, and I also think though I thought Veltman possibly could have been sent off. He did kick his leg from behind, kicked him up in the air. You can't say that he didn't do anything. He was not the innocent party there. Veltman.
No, he wanted to take the free kick and was preparing to take it properly. Rice has himself to blame for being in the way. You know, he wasn't
Well, you don't
expecting
think
Rice
he
to still.
instigated it, Manny? You don't think he instigated that, Veltman?
No, I don't think he did. No.
How about you, Carl? What do you make of it?
I'll say for United, we were robbed definitely against the goal against Brighton.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're talking about the sending off, Declan Rice. Talking about the sending off.
Oh, I didn't watch any Arsenal games here, but for United, I'll say
Okay.
that Zagzi offside goal should have counted.
Let's get to that one, and then this one, United and Liverpool 3-0. Right, where is it? The VAR rule, Salah was offside and disallows his goal. Alexander Arnold. Right call and a good spot, says Dermot. Someone asked whether he deliberately played it. That doesn't matter. He played it. It went to a colleague who scored. It's offside.
Yeah, Dermot's not exactly the gold standard of former referees, but he was right there.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get. I think to the Arsenal one. So what are we gonna rule that as a yes? Do you think,
Yes,
Manny?
he deserved it, and that lunge in the first half was also dreadful by itself.
Right, and you, Carl, would you? Well, you didn't see it, but from what we've said, do you think it's right or not? Right.
Well, from what Man is saying,
Yeah.
I feel like I'll justify
Yeah, actually more gone for no, 57%. Wonder who they were, those fans. Right. But anyway, I think the right decision probably yes, it was right. Right, should Leicester's goal have been disallowed? Jamie Vardy sees a goal ruled out after the ball hits referee David Coote in the build-up. And their rules do say if it hits the ref, it should be stopped, shouldn't it?
Yep.
It's not allowed to keep going. And I think they'd blown the whistle, hadn't he, apparently?
Yeah, play should have stopped. The referee also has to be careful not to be in the in the thick of the action, but sometimes, sadly, as we all know, it can't be helped.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. Stephen Warnock says it's a great decision, yeah. The ball should never have gone in that direction. You see the Villa players' response, they've already stopped. It's a really good decision. How the Leicester players are moaning at it is beyond me, yeah, I agree. So yes, definitely. And that's, of course, pretty much it, 76%. So nearly 100, we're getting on that way. So 24% said no. Right, Man United, we've already mentioned one of them. The Trent Alexander-Arnold one was offside. So we're definitely saying yes for that one. Although I think Kyle doesn't think so. Yeah.
that stench should have been onside, right?
Yeah, it's saying it's the right call though. They're saying here he was offside.
I'll say it's the right call definitely. I'm being biased here. I don't want the squadron to have been placed.
Yeah. What about the second one? Matthias de Ligt flies in on Luis Diaz on the flank in Liverpool's win at Old Trafford, and he's shown a yellow card. Dermot says it's a yellow card. The ref has a great view and plays a really good advantage. You've always got to leave the ground for a really small time to make a slide tackle. Has he gone with his trailing leg? Has he gone with his studs up? No. What do you two make of that?
I think Dermot called it. It's a yellow card. Simple as that. Oh, yeah, huge update. I don't know if I mentioned this, but Alice Ty winning gold in the 100. No. This is actually Becky Redfern who won gold and in the breaststroke SB13. This is the victory ceremony.
Oh,
But
brilliant.
Alice Ty won gold in the 50-meter freestyle.
Oh, nice, man. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that. I'll have a look at the highlight thing of that, bring it all back and stuff. See all those events. Instant 3, Nishama Swari steps on Cody Gakpo's foot just inside the Man United penalty area. Late in their Liverpool defeat, the referee waves play on and VAR declines to intervene. Dermot says the referee makes the decision. He's very close when it happens. There is a touch. He does step on his foot. Does he do that because he's put it in front of him? On-field call. You're never going to have the VAR go against him because he's got the best view. Well, do we agree with that?
For
Do we
the
agree with
lead
this
yellow
one?
card.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, no, it's Meswari steps on Cody Gakpo's foot. Just inside the Man United penalty area. There's a referee wave play on and VAR declines to intervene.
Wait, that's Mazari.
Yeah, do you
I
think...
VAR should have intervened with that. Simple as that.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like VR shouldn't have intervened. I feel like the game should have continued to go on because there are many times when a player stepped on another player's foot, especially back in the old times.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been, cannot really consider it a bad foul as such.
Yeah. Anyway, what about this one? Was Hughes lucky to not pick up a second yellow? Will Hughes against Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Will Hughes, already on the yellow card, commits a number of fouls culminating in a late challenge on Cole Palmer in Crystal Palace's draw at Chelsea. He does not receive a second booking and is soon after substituted by Oliver Glasner. Dermot says, in my day, we had Mark Clattenburg who would have set him up for after the first foul and pulled him out and said, you've done this, the next one you go. There was a catalogue. What saves Hughes is he almost panics to let go of him very quickly, and there's a Palace player who's going to block him off anyway. So the ref will say he hasn't broken up the promising attack. I think he gets lucky because the bench subbed him a minute later and tells you everything. That tells you everything. If he had gone, he would have had no complaints. So what about that one? Manny?
Definitely lucky. You commit too many fouls, you've got to go. Simple as that. Poor, weak refereeing. No excuses.
Yeah. What about you, Carl?
Yeah, I feel like he should have gotten a red card at that point.
So he was very lucky, really. So overall, what do we make of these decisions again? The referees, do we think they're getting most right or most wrong? How do we feel it's going this season so far?
Just quickly, I'll say once again, we're seeing the same incompetence, the same, lackadaisicalness, and I just don't know if we'll see any resolution to this.
No, it's not going to get any better, I don't think. What about you, Carl?
No, I feel like it has slightly improved compared to how many it was last season, first 4 game weeks, remember? So I feel like with the introduction of semi-automated VAR, it has helped to reduce those human errors.
It has a bit. I've got to agree, it has a bit, but I still don't think it's that great. I think they've got a long way to go before they get anything right, really properly correct or perfect with this. So we're still going to have all these incidents. There's going to be so many more incidents than wrong things given than right. So unfortunately, that's the way it's going to go for the season. But I know you really need to go, Manny. I believe you have got another stream, haven't you, at 8? So do you want to shout out your socials, mate? What you got?
First of all, thanks a lot for having me on, Mr. B. And
No worries.
you can find me on both of Mr. B's channels. The one where we chat England cricket, and also this one right over here, the Buzz, as it were, as it's now called. And I hope I got that right.
Yeah,
No mental flatulence from me tonight, thank goodness. And also catch me on several other channels on YouTube. Big up to Kyle as well. You can also catch me on occasions on his channel, Football Overseas. I've done some streams with him. A really good channel and a good fella as well. Good to have you on, Kyle. Big up to you.
Yeah.
And also catch me on Del Boy Gunner TV, Coach's Corner, Oris Talks Football, up the cherries in all departments, where I will be heading, as Steve has mentioned. I've got a stream with them where they'll be talking about Bournemouth's greatest comebacks. I'm pretty certain that Arsenal might find a mention in that. I think a certain 3-3 draw at Dean Court might find its way into that. Arsene Wenger, typical. Also, Huddersfield Town Fan TV, Rich Sports, who was in the chat earlier today, Football United, the Southern Gooner, also Gun Down UK, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, and several other channels, of course, where I've always loved being on, and really happy to sort of be on those streams. All streams, all channels, which mean a great deal to me. And of course, if they don't believe me when I tell them that they mean a great deal to me, as usual, there will be a check in the post. But I do have to start cashing some of those checks one of these days. But apart from that, there's nothing much else to say, except thanks once again to everyone who joined in, and thanks to all those of you in the chat. You're the ones who make this stream and Steve's channel and his other channels what they are. Do take care of yourselves, be safe and be happy, and do unto others as you'd have others do unto you, and don't do anything that the panel and I wouldn't do. But until then, as always, farewell to thee, goodbye and God bless to all of you, and I'm going to have to skedaddle. Bye, everyone.
No worries, mate. Take care. Have a good one. Cheers, Manny. Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. And now you, Kyle. Where can we find you, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at _F4YT2019 _. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Football Overseas. There you can also find Steve's videos on the Nations League. He'll be doing also Euros and also the national European competitions. Yeah. And you can also follow me on TikTok at F4_Next Sports Hub. Yeah. And you can also find me on Instagram. Yeah. And also on Twitter as well. Yeah. And also,
if you want to put all that in the live chat, Carl, before you go, you're welcome to. Put it all in there.
Yeah, I'll put them. I'll put it all in the chat later on. Once I'll put all of them in the chat once I leave. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
Just being on your show. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, mate. You're welcome anytime. You know that. So. And as obviously I'm on yours and your channel, of course, as well. I'm doing stuff on your channel. So, yeah, that's great. But thanks for coming in again. And it's brilliant having you on, my friend. And, you have a great evening and whatever you're going to do next with your streaming or whatever you're going to do. Or,
I'm going to go rest and also sleep as well, yeah.
Okay, mate. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, you take care, yeah. Cheers, Carl.
Yeah, it's cheers.
Cheers, mate. See ya. Cheers. Two great guys there, fellas, brilliant. And as I say, keep following them. Okay, Manny hasn't got a channel, but keep following him. All the things he goes on my channel and various other people's streams, and obviously Carl's one, his channel, Football Overseas, which I'm obviously got stuff I'm doing on there as well, as he's already mentioned. So I'll be on there as well. And obviously, this has gone on much longer than I thought it was. So apologies if it has gone on too long. It's well over 2 hours. I wasn't going to do it for this long. But obviously, it took longer to get through to certain subjects, but it's great. Thank you. And I say keep following me on there, Mr. B for Life 182, Mr. B Higher Football Chat, Mr. B Talks England Cricket on Instagram. And as Carl's put here, it's where you got to follow him. Subscribe, follow us, Instagram, and all that there, Facebook, TikTok and all that. Next Gen. Yeah, so, follow all that, guys. That's on there. I really must put it all in the description, and I will next time, obviously. Next time I do this, so everyone can find out where they can follow these guys. So, yeah, I'll do that next time. But as I say, if you see Carl's stuff in there, go and follow him on there, on all them channels and stuff, all his socials. All brilliant. And as I say, I've got other stuff coming. I've got obviously stuff on the cricket channel and on here on the football. I've obviously got Nations League, maybe a playoff, a watch along or two, possibly. Might do England tomorrow. Not tomorrow. What's it? Saturday? Sorry. Possibly England. I might do. I don't know. Debating it. I might do the one against Finland if I don't do the Irish one. Obviously, I've got other stuff coming. Cricket, of course, that third test against Sri Lanka. That's starting tomorrow. So obviously, we're going to find out it's going to finish maybe, I don't know, Sunday or Monday, depending. How many days it lasts, who knows? But I'll do obviously do a review for the third one and the series overall, the whole series. Probably with Manny as well. He'll be joining me for that. So, check all that out. And of course, we've got another cricket one next week with England with the T20s. So they're starting as well, England T20s. So obviously we'll be doing reviews or maybe watch-alongs for that. So not totally sure yet, but obviously I'll let people know if I do. And obviously I've also got men's mental health stream coming. That might be next week as well. So please follow that and help with that. And, if people are struggling, obviously mainly men, but obviously everyone, women as well, of course. Anyone struggling, try and follow all that and look at that. And obviously, go to the links that I put on there and everything and what I chat about. I think Manny may be on that as well. May have others, may have Kenny on there as well. But obviously, we'll wait and see. Can't confirm that as yet. And I won't confirm exactly when it is, but it'll possibly be next week. So, but thanks to everyone that's been on here. It's been well over 2 hours. It's 2 hours 39, I believe, now. Hope you've all enjoyed this. And sorry, as I say, it's gone on longer than it should have done. But it's been another great stream. And obviously this will be, it won't mainly be Monday or Tuesday. It could be any day in the week now. I'll be doing this. So could be any day next week, this. So I'll have a lot coming out next week, to be honest. Hopefully I can get through it all. That'll be the thing, guys. But I'll say thanks to everyone in the live chat. Thanks to everyone that's been supporting me, watching me live or playback. My guests, Carl, of course, and Manny. Two fantastic blokes. And great from them again. Made this a really great stream again. And but for now, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to bounce. Cheers, everyone. Bye. Bye. Thank you.